FCNYC, my name is Ben Chan, and welcome back, Aris, Pina. You just came back from the Hall of Fame weekend, and you counted the Tomasz Adamek, Eddie Chambers fight. We're going to talk about that first. So, what did you see in that fight from Eddie Chambers, who had come up from a long layoff?
You know, Chambers was as slick as ever. I mean, the guy is a very slick heavyweight, and you don't see that too often, you know, in this day and age of the big, giant, robotic heavyweight. Chambers had his skill, but unfortunately, he messed up his, I believe it was like a rotator cuff injury to his shoulder, and that made his left hand completely null. So he fought the entire fight after the first and second round. He fought the entire fight with one arm. Still did pretty good. Adamek couldn't really hit him clean. It was a tough fight to score because Chambers made him miss a lot, but he didn't throw that much. Adamek was very aggressive, but it wasn't effective aggression. Problem is, you have to be aggressive against Adamek in Newark to get a decision. Chambers wasn't aggressive enough, hence the reason why Adamek won the decision.
Yeah, it seemed like the judges had it a wider margin.
Yeah, there was no way that fight was 119-109. I mean, Chambers was pacing with right hands over and over throughout the fight. But Chambers' problem, and I was mentioning this during the fight, was that, between rounds, was that he spent too much time mugging. You can't be me mugging Adamek, sticking your tongue out, doing the Walcott shuffle, things of that nature, and expect to win a decision. That's not going to happen.
Well, Adamek's been trying to angle for another date with one of the Klitschko's. I mean, what does this do in terms of preparing him for a Klitschko?
Another beatdown? I mean, Adamek didn't look that good. I mean, slick boxers were never type of Adamek's cup of tea to begin with, and Chambers will make anyone not named Klitschko look bad. So, with that being said, Adamek won the fight, but I think he's seen better days, and if he's smart, he'll wait until Vitaly, who's rumored to retire after his next fight, maybe he'll just wait to fight for a vacant belt after that, or something to that matter, because there's no way he's going to be either one of the Klitschko brothers.
Right, and let's go from that to the HBO fight. We had Andy Lee losing to Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. No controversy there. It was TKO'd in the 7th round. And what did we see from Chavez? Is this like the step up that a lot of people say it is?
I think so. I mean, a lot of people were saying that Chavez, they were waiting for him to fight a legitimate guy, and Lee is, as far as middleweights go, is pretty legitimate when you're not a champion or up on that next level. So for Chavez to steamroll in the way he did, yeah, that was very impressive. He's come a long way. But you have to remember, Andy Lee is still Andy Lee's not the strongest guy out there. He throws great accurate punches, but he has a tendency to get caught into a slug fist, which I thought would happen in this fight. He got caught into a slug fist, and he's not strong enough to hold guys off. He kind of fights on roller skates to a degree.
Right, and it looked to me that Chavez, I guess, compared to the Chavez from years ago, he's rounded into middleweight. Actually, he's probably rounded into like a light heavyweight. At this point.
I mean, he's the best middle cruiserweight champ I've ever seen.
Right, and I guess he's growing into his body now. But after the fight, he called out Sergio Martinez, and seems like he really wants that fight to happen. Do you think that the Chavez that we saw TKO Andy Lee has any better of a chance versus Sergio Martinez, the middleweight champion?
I mean, I still think Martinez is going to beat him. Most people still agree with that. Will Chavez give him a good fight? Well, better than he would last year.
Right.
Chavez has definitely improved a little bit, but I think he's reached his plateau of how great he's going to get. I'm not sure if he's going to get any better than what he is, and if that's the case, then why not put him in with Martinez? He could take a punch. He's big for the weight. He, like I said, he got his father's whiskers. He has a great body attack. He's very aggressive, and he's accurate with his shots. I think he gives Martinez a little bit of trouble, but Martinez, I think, still is too fluid for him.
Right now, they supposedly signed an agreement that they're going to fight soon or this year. Hopefully, we get to see that fight because I don't think there's anybody else for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. to fight. And I don't think he could actually look any better against anybody else. I think this is it for him.
And I think the other middleweights out there, if he doesn't cash out against Martinez, I think there's still a few middleweights out there that would beat him, like Golovkin or PR. Both of those guys, I think, would beat Chavez rather convincingly, if not stop him. So, with that being said, Chavez is a big name. He's run his record. What is he now, 46-0 or something?
I guess so.
Yeah. And so with that, you might as well just cash out with him.
Right.
He doesn't, he's not completely blown out by Martinez. Who knows? He may have a chance.
And I guess it's news for Sergio Martinez that he has a big name opponent to fight.
Yeah, finally. No more Darren Barkers for him.
Right. I'd love to see him back in action soon. So you were at the Hall of Fame weekend, and this year Tommy Hearns got inducted. Tell us about some of the other folks who got inducted this year.
I mean, we had, obviously, Tommy Hearns got inducted, but also Mark Johnson was inducted. Mark Johnson was one of the best junior flyweight, junior bantamweights.
Right. Too sharp.
Yeah, Too Sharp Johnson, of course. He's one of the best of the 90s, one of the best of any era. Johnson was a marvel to watch in the ring. I loved watching him as a kid. He dominated every opponent until he got a little bit older and various ailments caught up to him, but man, was he something. It's too bad he couldn't get his chance to fight, you know, the Johnny Tapia, the Danny Romero's, Michael Carbajals of his era, because, you know, I think he would have beat them all. Johnston was such a great fighter, and for him to get inducted on his first year, nonetheless, I was surprised he got. I voted for him, but I wasn't sure how many of the other voters would, you know, still remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
But he was extremely grateful, the happiest guy in the world. You know, he just kept on telling everyone thank you. He was so happy that he was inducted, and much deserving.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Coco Kid, one of the unsung greats of the 1930s and 40s, was inducted. I've been a huge fan of Coco Kid for many years. I've been trying, you know, pushing for him to be voted. He's one of the legends. I mean, he has wins over a lot of all-time greats. He has 8 wins over Holman Williams, who was another all-time great fighter. He went to, you know, split a pair with Charlie Burley. I mean, the guy's been around. And the problem with Coco Kid, as well as guys like Charlie Burley, Eddie Booker, Lloyd Marshall, and others from that era, they're largely forgotten because they never got a title shot. They mostly fought against each other. And
they never fought on HBO.
They never fought on HBO or Showtime because, you know, that era wasn't then. And, you know, they had the worst part against them. They were too good and they were too black.
Right.
It's unfortunate, but, you know, at least they're getting their just due today, and it was a long time coming. Congratulations to the Coco Kid.
Okay. And who should we look for next year to be inducted?
Next year, I have to, you know, I know a couple of people I mentioned. I'm not sure if Trinidad is on the ballot yet. He might be, or it might be the year after, but Trinidad is coming up. Arturo Gatti is coming up on the ballot, which I expect him to get in. Will I vote for him? I don't think so. I love Gatti too. Don't get me wrong. This isn't the fact that I think Gatti was one of the most exciting fighters I've ever witnessed in my life.
Right.
He brought many memories and joys to many people with his exciting wars. But I just think his body of work doesn't merit Hall of Fame induction.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he'll still get in just because he feel, you know, how people feel about him.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So look for Gatti coming up. I know Corrales is going to be coming up pretty soon, and that's another one I wouldn't vote for, but others might feel differently. And I know Trinidad is waiting in the wings.
Well, so maybe they should come up with a new category for the Hall of Fame to induct certain fights into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, they should, you know. Might as well. And also, and for non-fighters, I know Jim Lampley's been on the cusp for many years. I'm surprised he hasn't been inducted yet. And who knows? I mean, there's always a few guys ready just there. It's going to take a few more years, but there's a lot of people still on the ballot that deserve induction that still haven't gotten any credit whatsoever. Right. It's because the voting, and I've said this before, people just need to be more observant about this. They see, you know, an American name that they recognize compared to like an Asian fighter that they've never seen before. Who are you going to vote for?
Mm-hmm. Right, absolutely.
And
it's always a fun weekend. As you told me, they showed you a lot of love for
Fight City.
They
showed me a lot of love for Fight City, and also just in general about different things. These are, you know, if you have never been into the Hall of Fame, it's a chance for you. You should go because there's all hardcore boxing fans. It's just a great weekend amongst, you know, it's like visiting a family. It's like a family reunion. And one thing I can guarantee you, not one person will ask you, when is Manny Pacquiao going to fight Floyd Mayweather?
Right.
They know better over there. It's just nice discussion. Yeah, it's the only chance you'll get to sit down with your heroes, with other legends, trainers, the like. You never know who's going to show up, and they're always accessible. They'll talk to you about different things. I mean, Tommy Hearns was like telling me about how it felt to go in the ring and get beat up as a kid in sparring, and Mark Johnson was telling me various stories. All these guys, you know, that's what they do. Mm-hmm. I was up until early morning with Ray Mercer reminiscing about his career and talking about things. You know, that's how it is at the Hall of Fame. If you have the chance to make it, please do.
Right, and so thank you for showing us love at the Hall of Fame. Thank you for watching the show, and we'll see you soon.
See you then.